But one species takes it to a completely different level.
They're just a flock animal. You've got, thousands of other birds keeping an eye on any predators or any situation. If there's 10,000 of you, it's less likely to be you that gets eaten.
Caribbean flamingos live in enormous flocks on the mudflats and lagoons of the West Indian islands.
Flamingos don't do very well on their own, and they get really panicked and nervous.
They're just scared of every little thing. The shadow will scare them, ducks will scare them, the wind will scare them. But it's something else to see them as a flock, how they interact together. They're just so in tune with each other. But then separate one by itself, it's like, how are you alive?
Having numbers on their side can make up for the odd, tiny flaw which nature has bestowed upon them.
I don't want to be the person to say that flamingos aren't intelligent, but you can see how people can call them stupid birds.
Last year, Chester's flamingo flock gained some new members with the birth of 16 chicks. And the youngsters are now 9 months old.
Oh, I know, Gobby.
Move out the way, please.
The chicks are being kept in a place in the zoo called Wetland Bird Nursery. It's where all the young birds go, kind of crash together before they go out into the proper aviary.
Bird nursery is a bit like a school's nursery in a way. They squabble over everything. Sometimes they'll just walk past one and just go, bop. He's like, why did you push him over? Just did.
But there is one youngster who prefers to steer clear of any trouble. Male flamingo Hazel.
Hazel's quite like a good flamingo, like well-behaved really. It's a little bit of the quiet, possibly nerdy one at school.
But Hazel's found a kindred spirit after developing an unlikely bromance with a fellow male called Cha-Cha.
They're just quite reserved. They don't really get in the fights like the others.
You can tell they've got a really close relationship. They're always stood next to each other, they're always feeding together.
If one of them's going to have a bath, they'll probably find the other ones in there as well. So they are like a little married couple, really.
The boys and the rest of the chicks are due to join the adult flock in the main aviary any day now.
It's a massive step. They're going to be exposed to wild birds, ducks, gulls, other small birds they've never even seen before. It'd be a lot of learning for them.
But the keepers may have to split up the couple and keep Hazel behind.
We noticed that Hazel had a little bit of a limp. Might have been just a little knock or a little trip, and he's just bruised it or damaged it.
Flamingos are really social animals, but if there's a sick one, they won't wait back for one that's got a limpy leg. They're like, well, we're going. See you later. You're the weak one. We're off.
All right.
For Chester's flock of juvenile flamingos, the time to graduate to the main aviary has arrived.
What ring do you want?
That's one of the ones going.
Yeah. Nearly there. Stop struggling.
With flamingos, there's definitely safety in numbers. Obviously, naturally, that's how they want to be, but it just makes them feel more reassured.
But there's one member of the class who hasn't made it.
Decision's been made to keep him back because Hazel's limp hasn't really improved over the last few days. So I think the plan is now to get the vets involved and hopefully find a solution. Hazel! Hazel just pooed on me. It's warm and wet on my hand. I think all birds that I work with get a kick out of just pooing on you any chance I can get. Oh, Hazel, stop pooing on me. I'm pretty sure Hazel once pooed in my pocket while I was holding him, and I didn't realise till later when I went to get my keys out. Perks of the job.
The vet team quickly identify that the problem isn't with Hazel's leg, but with his foot.
Not very nice feet. I was thinking of antibiotics, but he needs to have it twice a day.
After antibiotics are prescribed for the swollen foot, Hazel is returned to the nursery. But he's not alone.
So we've kept Cha-Cha behind with Hazel just for company, really. He would be so stressed on his own that any medication we were giving him, it'd kind of be irrelevant because the stress would undo all that good work.
The team are hoping Hazel will make a swifter recovery with his pal by his side.
Flamingos don't do well by themselves, so I think if he was alone up at bird nursery, be kind of down and depressed. Ideally, these birds will go out and join the rest of the flock as soon as possible.
Over in the flamingo nursery, the bromance between Cha-Cha and Hazel has flourished since the rest of their flock graduated to the adult aviary.
Hazel and Cha-Cha's relationship is so deep that you do see Cha-Cha really defending Hazel, even from small birds or anyone who gets too close, which is really nice.
But Hazel's swollen foot hasn't healed.
Hazel's foot's still causing problems. It's disappointing. So we're going to have to try a few other options.
Keepers have taken the difficult decision to anaesthetise Hazel to carry out further tests.
Hazel!
Okay. Very quick X-ray, blood and the joint tap. Do you want to put him on the table, please?
Give it a go.
Yeah.
It can be nerve-wracking when you take a bird to the vet. So if it's going under anaesthetic as well, it's another level and another thing to be worried about.
There's a risk, like there is with people, there's always a risk, but this bird's obviously got something wrong with it. We don't know exactly what it is. It could mean that the rest of its system, heart, lungs, kidneys are weaker, and then the stress of the anaesthetic, there's that worry that it might not wake up.
X-ray. Okay. This white area here is the joint fluid that we see. This is expanding the joint area, and it makes it look like swollen and very puffy out there. Taking blood.
Samples of blood and joint fluid are taken to determine what exactly is causing the continued swelling.
It's sad when you see the bird, especially the flamingos kind of laid out under anaesthetic. They do just look very small and kind of quite pathetic and weak, really. Very delicate birds, especially when they're knocked out like that.
The keepers now face an anxious wait for the results.
Worst case for him is that there's some sort of infection that's in the bone. It's really hard to treat, and it can take a long time to treat, even if it is possible to recover from it.
It doesn't look very nice.
And that could just be a lot of stress, a lot of having to handle a medication. Potentially it isn't treatable and he might have to be put down.
At the flamingo nursery, Cha-Cha is preparing to join the main flock in the adult aviary. But he won't be going alone. The tests have identified the bacteria causing Hazel's foot infection, and he's been prescribed a different course of antibiotics.
Hazel is not showing any signs of pain or discomfort in that foot. He's been really well, he's walking really well, there's no signs of a limp at all.
It's time to leave the nursery behind for good.
Come on, you two. Why are you running away?
And Hazel is back to his old self.
Oh, Hazel. Say goodbye.
But there are fears about how well the youngsters will fit in with the rest of the flock.
So much time spent in semi-isolation away from such a big group of flamingos could have negative effects, could have hindered their development. And they'll almost forget what it is to be a flamingo. They'll just be more used to human contact.
Your new home. And put you down next to Cha-Cha.